So I was wandering around Etsy the other day, as I casually do, to find random cool stuff, and I came across some variety of stores that were doing 3D Battletech minis. And Battletech is a name I haven't heard in quite some time. In fact, I haven't heard it since about, what is it? It was the late 90s when card games were super hot, and I was wandering around Toys R Us, and I was looking at the peg, and there's Magic the Gathering, there's Pokemon, and there's a Battletech. And I was like, ooh, giant mech things, I'll grab that. Which was an interesting choice, because had I picked Pokemon and got some kind of shiny and kept it super contained and graded, it would have been worth enough to buy a boat right about now. But I went with Super Stompy Mech Boys. And I remember the first time I opened a pack, the card I saw was the Black Knight. And I was like, ooh, that looks cool. So I decided to pick up a bunch of Stompy Mech Boys. Now, the game itself seems to be growing in popularity because the whole Warhammer boycott, GW being themselves in cycles yet again. And I was looking into the game, and the models are actually really cheap. The Catalyst Games website, they've completely sold out of everything. The only thing you could still probably get is the starter set, which is about $16, $19. Comes with book, board, a little bit of rules, 2 mechs, the Griffin and the Wolverine, and a bunch of other neat stuff. The main box games and all the lances are usually about $20. Those are sold out everywhere. The only places you'll find it's probably on eBay. They're trying to scout. Well, on eBay they're trying to scalp the 5-box set lances, which are normally $20 for like $100. So we went on Etsy and decided to get some 3D prints. Now this is from a place called ModestMinisStudio. They've got possibly the biggest selection I saw out of everybody. And the most important part, they were actually showing the physical productions as opposed to just a 3D print file. Usually when you see someone just list 3D print files, you kind of get worried about what you're going to get in the mail as your final packaging. So I was alleviated my worries just a little bit by having those photos in there. So what do we have? We've got 5 minis. Let's take a look at everybody, see their quality. I'm actually quite impressed so far. We're going to start with the best boy right here. Well, not the best boy, but possibly the best looking one. This is the BattleMaster. I think he was probably the Zaku 2 of the Star League era. What do we got? We probably got a PPC, got about 4 hull-mounted medium lasers, probably a long-range missile on his left, probably a long-range laser on his left arm, and probably a short-range or long-range missile launcher on his shoulder. Hard to say there, but he's actually looking really good. It's hard to find a flaw. There is a little bit of work that needs to be done to clean up right there, but overall, this is a pretty good one. Probably needs some sanding right in here. There is a bit of a lineage. We can always do battle damage for those, so that's not a bad idea. Right here, this is one I really like when playing the 2019 game they got on Steam there. This is a Centurion. This guy is just pure mean. It's a short, squatty. He's got an autocannon. He's got 2 lasers in the chest. You usually have a missile launcher. There we go. We got a missile launcher, long-range missile launcher. And then he's got his claw arm, his little shield claw arm, where he comes up and just beats the crap out of you with it. These are nice little early game nasty boys here. We've got the Atlas. He's probably got an autocannon on the chest. Probably got a long and short missile ranges on here. Looks like on each arm he's probably got in total about 6 medium lasers, we'd like to say. How would I probably paint this? Well, it's an Atlas, so he's going to have to be Steiner colors, and he's going to have to go scouting with his boys for war crimes. That's what's going to happen. This is my favorite boy I was talking about from the beginning. This is the Black Knight. I want to paint him like the card was, that kind of bluish black looking color, but they really do look more like Zaku 2s, so it would be interesting if we painted them like Char Aznable's colors, or just a regular Zaku 2. That could be neat. His armament, that's probably a PPC. Looks like he's got 4 medium lasers on his torso, and probably long-range laser on his left arm. This one is unfortunately the most disappointing. This is a melee version of the Black Knight. He's got his sword, his shield. The way you could paint this up, it would be like Rambaral's Golf. Nice blue tones with an orange power weapon sort of thing going on. My main problems with this is not the body itself, which actually looks okay. The sword's a bit thin and flimsy. I'm very concerned about that, and it has a lot of the 3D etching on there for me to clean up. I could always use the etching to its own advantage and try to do lined little heat blazes going off the sword. The hilt itself is unfortunately underdeveloped. The shield itself is very 16-bit polygonal all over the place. It might need a good sanding down. There is a bit of strange marks going through the shield, but we can always turn those into battle damage. And the shield arm itself, this might be more of a problem with the file than the actual print. The arm seems very underdeveloped and small compared to the other side. It's very strange looking, but the shield's going to be in the way, so you're probably not going to notice it. Just some small nicks and works, but the legs and the overall torso and head are fine. It's just these two sections, probably overly ambitious for a 3D print, but they still look good. Now they do have bases that go with them, the standard hex bases for the game. So let's see, we'll try to put BattleMaster on one, Centurion on one, and we'll compare them to the two we got out of the starter set. Yeah, they fit perfectly fine. They scale well. We got the mediums, the size of the medium. The heavies are definitely a little bit taller and much more heavier. Looks pretty good. Looks not bad. I think on average they're about $8 a piece. I'm not sure who the company is that made the STL files, but if you're able to get a hold of them, these are really tiny figures, about the size of one Space Marine, which is probably like, what are they, like probably 15-20 grams weight per model, so that's probably like 40 cents to produce if you have your own 3D printer, so it's not bad, especially on profit-wise. I should try to pick up one myself one of these days and get one of those rolling out. That'd be all sorts of fun. Get my own license from a third-party company and start selling them myself. Might be an interesting way to make profit. But overall, how would I paint them? I think I went over these two guys. Either do the classic Black Knights, black with a blue tinge. We're going to do Rambaral Gelf, Shar Aznable, Zaku 2. Bad boy here, Steiner colors for the war crimes. Centurion, I'd probably do a chromatic red. I think that would be really cool. The Battlemaster, I'd probably do Starleague colors, the old white and blue, make him seem like a relic from the past. For the other boys here, I'm not sure what colors I'm going to paint them, but there is one thing that really annoys me about these mainline productions, these Catalyst minis right here. They're cheap, which is fantastic, but they have this weird rubbery plastic to them, which I'm not a fan of. It makes it difficult to clean the mold lines off them because it doesn't want to give way like traditional hard plastic does. It seems more like even if you do sand them, it doesn't really sand all the way, and you risk the problem, since they're so small, of hitting some of the details. So it's going to be kind of an interesting cleaning job to get these guys going. The 3D resin guys shouldn't be too much of a problem. I am worried about the weird little textures that the 3D printer gives off, but as long as I polish off the main areas that show, that probably shouldn't be too much of a problem. So yeah, that's everything I got for right now. Battletech is going to be some interesting stuff going down. I wondered how balanced we can get some of these lances out. Hopefully Catalyst starts producing all their material again so we can get all the books and the other minis and all that good stuff going.
I don't want to.